What's up and happy Friday. This is your host Non-Fungible TC, Non-Fungible today and Non-Fungible tomorrow. And actually I wanted to show you guys something pretty interesting today, but unfortunately I was just doing this like 10 minutes right before the show. I created an account and it seems I cannot do it. What I wanted to share with you today is that I'm not sure if you noticed on Twitter, but a lot of people are sharing screenshots like this, right? They're asking the AI to do some sort of calculation, to do some sort of programming, to write a rap song, to do all sort of stuff, and it was quite interesting. They were sharing this on Twitter. So yeah, I wanted to show you this today, but unfortunately unable to do that. But if you're watching this live stream today, I will be giving away one whitelist for Project Nanoverse Phase 2. So all you have to do is just look up. You can see a QR code. All you have to do is just scan the QR code, create a stream avatar, and if you create that stream avatar and you interact with this show, you will have a chance to win this Project Nanoverse Phase 2 whitelist, okay? So anyways, without further ado, I just want to share with you about this OpenAI and what it is about. So what is OpenAI? So OpenAI is actually an AI research and deployment company, right? So what they did is that they have an AI software that you could actually interact with and to create art. I'm not sure if you're into AI art, but a lot of people have been using AI to create art lately. And the reason why this thing is going viral right now on Twitter is because, besides art right now, it could give you an answer, right? You can interact with this AI and then it will give you an answer. And these answers are actually quite interesting. And therefore, a lot of people are interacting with this, right? So anyways, without further ado, if you want to try this, and if you're not based in the city where I am in, which is unavailable, all you have to do is just go to openai.com. But in front of openai.com, you could search chat, okay? CHAT, chat.openai.com, okay? So you can go to chat.openai.com, and then what it will do is that it will ask you to log in or sign up. You can use a Google or Microsoft account to sign in and sign up. And then once you do that, what you can do is that you could start using this OpenAI, ask them questions. And what I wanted to do is ask them to write me a script for today's show, but it's not working, so it's fine. So moving on to our traditional news, okay? So traditional news, if you've been looking at the market, you'll notice that the market is rallying, and there's a reason for that, okay? There's a lot of economic data that actually come out this week. And if you look at this, right, the US manufacturing activity contracted for the first time in 2.5 years. The world's first country owes 62 billion bilateral debt. Gas prices had hit pre-Russia and Ukraine conflict levels, right? So China will losing COVID curbs, okay? So there's a lot of negativity. But in that, some people think that the market is good, right? Because, if there's less COVID lockdowns in China, it means that manufacturing will ramp up, right? And if manufacturing will ramp up, it might help with the supply chain, the supply crisis, right? Because there's more product coming out, right? But at the same time, the reason why the market is rallying is because the market has a lot of bad news. And when you have bad news, people are thinking that the Feds will pivot less aggressively, right? So U.S. stock ended Thursday session mixed as investors digest optimistic economic data that suggests rate hikes are working, right? So what happened is that a lot of these inflation data are going down. People are losing jobs, and therefore people, a lot of investors are thinking that, okay, now the Feds will see that the interest rate hike is indeed working. And because Jerome Powell has come up and he was kind of dovish about, there's a chance that they might lower the interest rate hike, and the market basically just rallied, right? So now you can kind of see that all this crypto rally and stuff like that. Right now, it's less about the technology itself, but it's more about the macro market environment. It's trading very closely to the NASDAQ, right? So that's how you could kind of gauge the engagement, right? And what you can do is that for me, every day I go to cryptocraft.com/calendar, I would, just look at the news, right? So actually, in 1 hour's time, the U.S. non-farm employment will come up. The U.S. unemployment rate will come up, right? If you look at this, right? The forecast unemployment rate for the US is 3.7%. So here's your bet, right? Is either if the numbers is, if unemployment rate is higher than 3.7%, it basically means that more and more people are unemployed. Maybe the Feds will, slow down the interest rate hike, right? So if this estimation, if the numbers that come up is like 3.8 or above 3.7, the market could rally, okay? And it could rally exactly at this time in 1 hour's time. So what happened is that you can make a bet before that, right? You can make a bet and say, hey, I think based on the news I've been watching, I think people are being unemployed, right? People are losing jobs and so on. So this number might be higher for last month, right? And then that's how, some people trade the volatility, right? And that's how you get informed and you get to know every day what is a crucial thing. Because if you look at this, right, look at yesterday, there's also a key number, which is PCE number, lower than expected. So that's why the market pumped, right? So that's how you could kind of tell things, right? So yeah, I think this is interesting. And also, if you look at this, US dollar hit a 4-month low. So the US Dixie, the US swing is down. So usually when the US Dixie goes down, the stocks would go up, right? But yeah, in general, very negative. The world is actually quite negative, right? A lot of people are cutting jobs, cutting bonuses, and stuff like that. So it really gives you an idea that, hey, maybe right now things are rallying, right? People like this is a year end. People want to cash out to a certain extent, right? So things might move more aggressively, right? But after the year end, after like maybe people sell for Christmas to buy Christmas presents or whatever, or to travel, maybe the real, the crash that we might see could be anytime, right? Because the market itself is not doing well. There's no things fundamentally that suggest a very strong market, right? So at the same time, I wanted to share with you this US state's initial jobless claims. So jobless claims to a certain extent compared to the forecast has dropped. So it means that there are less people jobless, right? So does that mean, there's a chance that the unemployment rate might go down, right? So there's a lot of things that we have to see. All of this will unveil in 1 hour. So it's very interesting to read a lot of these news to be informed in the macro space, right? So moving on to crypto news, cryptocurrency market right now, we kind of had a retrace. We're at 856 billion, Bitcoin at 17,000. So look at this, right? All of these positive news within this week was able to pump Bitcoin up to 17,000. And it's actually interesting. No one is joining my giveaway. So if you are into stream, definitely maybe try comment, try scan this QR code, create a stream avatar, and you will see your avatar actually right here, right next to me, and then you can interact, right? There's so much things you could do if people play this thing, right? So Ethereum at 1,288, right? So we can see it kind of rallied a bit, but now it's kind of sideways. So Tether is a upward trend, which basically means that there's a possibility that people are buying more Tether, right? So it means that money is going to a stable coins. It could be, but not 100%, right? So if you look at stable coins, it's actually sideways trending, right? So it means that people are maybe in and out trading the cryptocurrency, right? So actually in crypto news, Australian stock exchange fired 200 contractors working on cancel blockchain project, right? So it really sees how, you can see how volatile and how quickly the space move. When people see, a lot of potential blockchain, blah, 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 let's all go into this, right? A lot of jobs. And then people are saying, FTX crash, a lot of uncertainty, scrutiny, regulations, things just end as abruptly as that, right? So there is no 100% in this space. It's always important to stay grounded, in my own opinion. So Korean prosecutor see arrest of Terra co-founder over 105 million Luna sale, right? I was trying to, sue the co-founder Daniel Shin, right? Okay. So Binance, okay. So there was a hack. On the Anchor, and I will share with you more about this. And it seems that the DOJ, Department of Justice, watchdog, the independent examiner of FTX collapse, right? And for those of you who have been watching the news, Sam Bankman-Fried has been appearing to different type of interviews, right? There were some people that are saying that he's trying to use incompetence to hide him committing some sort of fraud and stuff like that, right? So, feel free to go check out Sam Bankman-Fried. He did a interview at the New York Times Summit. So he talked about his version of the story. He joined different type of big Twitter spaces as well. He was interviewed by Tiffany Fong as well. It was a video interview. So he's kind of doing a lot of these interviews. So you can be your own judge on whose version you trust, right? Because some people like Kevin O'Leary, right, or Bill Ackman, right, they believe in Sam Bankman-Fried, believing that he does not know what is going on behind the scene, right? So we'll see, right? Because there's a lot of things that's coming up. Like the beauty of the blockchain and in crypto is that it's so there's a lot of awareness driven, and also it shows everything on chain. It shows you a lot of things, a lot of transparency things that are being digged up, right? But all you have to do is just maybe watch the news, be on Twitter, follow the right accounts, right? So what is this hack, right? So Anchor got hacked. A chat about what Anchor exploiter did. So the exploiter stole the keys of the deployer, right? So basically, this hacker hacked the private key of the developers, minted a lot of these tokens to himself, and then exploited them and swap these tokens, right? And then move these tokens into Tornado Cash and try to move the token away, right? And at the same time, what happened is that there's a ABNBC related pool that PancakeSwap has and exhausted. So he started dumping this type of ABNBC token, and then this was able to make the anchor token drop. Okay. So what happened is that the reason why Binance is releasing this is because ABNB is actually on the Binance blockchain, right? So he's saying that, hey, they have the exchange has paused withdrawal following an exploit with the crypto node project Anchor, right? So possible hack of Anchor, and hey, initial analysis is developed private keys were stolen, and the hacker updated the smart contract to a more malicious one. So they have paused withdrawal a few hours ago. Also froze 3 million that the hacker moved to the centralized exchange, right? So it does show you that even though there's hack, there are some sort of centralized points that could prevent that. But it also, everything when hacks happen, there's always these centralized choke points in terms of cashing out. And there is this debate about the true idea of decentralization and stuff like that, right? So anyways, moving on to this one, right? Central bank governors from around the globe come together to discuss the future of blockchain technology, CBDC, and the risks associated with the nascent tech, right? So Hong Kong is working with a lot of these central bankers, okay? The Hong Kong Central Bank executive look optimistic about the future of decentralized tech, okay, while the Korean Central Bank governors has its doubt in wake of recent crypto contagion. So if you do not know, Hong Kong recently has pivoted in the digital asset currency approach, right? They're saying that they want to actually be a hub for digital asset, right, a while back. But it's very interesting because this thing came out, right? After the FTX incident, Singapore's next supreme leader, Lawrence Wong, stated that Singapore has no aspiration to become a crypto hub and seeks to be a responsible and innovative digital asset player, right? So now, from what I've heard in the past, is that a lot of companies have left Hong Kong and went to Singapore because of the COVID policies, okay, and also how a lot of companies and the NFT community and stuff like that are there, right? But it seems like the Deputy PM Wong says Singapore has no aspiration to become the big crypto hub, right? So it'll be very interesting to see how this dynamic, like this kind of a competition between Hong Kong and Singapore, now how they would kind of maybe Singapore decides not to be the digital hub, and Hong Kong will take a bigger position in this, right? So it's interesting to see this. So NFT news, let's go to here. This is actually an interesting news that happened today, and it's quite big. A lot of people are laughing. So Coinbase stopped the NFT function in the Coinbase wallet, okay, on the iOS mobile devices. And this is because Apple blocked their last app release until they disable the feature, right? And Apple is claiming that the gas fee required to send NFTs need to be paid through the in-app purchase system so that they can collect 30% of the gas fees. For anyone who understands how NFT and blockchain works, this is clearly not possible, right? The in-app purchase system does not support crypto and they cannot comply, right? So it's interesting to this is akin to Apple trying to get a cut for fees of every email that get sent over in open internet protocol, right? So yeah, it's interesting. But the biggest problem for anyone who's using an Apple device is that the biggest impact from this policy change is on iPhone users that own NFTs. If you hold an NFT in a wallet in an iPhone, Apple just made it a lot harder to transfer the NFT to other wallet or give it to friends and family, right? Simply put, Apple has introduced new policies to protect the profit at the expense of consumer investment NFTs and developer innovation across the crypto ecosystem, yada yada, right? I think this is very interesting because it has implications. For example, if you're using a MetaMask wallet, right? If you're using another wallet that is on the iOS device, does that mean that all the other wallets, you can no longer send NFTs on the other wallets and it has to be done using in-app purchase? If so, a lot of users in the crypto space cannot use the Apple device. They might have to install the wallets on the computer or maybe an Android phone, right? So it might look funny in the beginning, right? The gas fees, billing 30% of a gas fee, which is pretty much impossible. But it does show you that there might be some ripple effects, right? So we really have to monitor, if you're into the NFT space, how this would develop, right? Because the Apple mobile usage has a very high penetration, right? So another interesting news that I found out today is actually Cointelegraph is now minting their articles as NFTs. So if you actually go to Cointelegraph, right? if you go to the website, what you can do is that they now have a button that allows you to own this news article, which I find very interesting. So if you look at the start collecting, and then what you can do is just go to the article, okay, and that shows you how many edition is left. And they sell these articles for $20, right? So that's around 22 Matic. You can buy with Polygon Matic wallet. You can buy with credit card, right? So I find it interesting for them to do that. So I think usually in maybe very historical events or like maybe the earliest articles, maybe it'll be more valuable, right? But it's interesting to see how they pivot to using NFTs, and it reminds me of Artifact by SCMP as well. But this one, the scale is much bigger and it's more frequent, because every news article they make it as NFT and sell it, right? Which is interesting. Like for example, every video I do, I can actually mint this as an NFT and sell it for like only 20 editions and something like that, or 10 editions, right? So maybe, you know, it's another new way of a revenue stream, which is interesting to see. So, you know, let's see if there's any other NFT news. Another big one. Magic Eden launches an open source Solana NFT tool to enforce creator royalties. So now it seems like marketplaces from zero royalties is now pivoting to enforce royalty, right? So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. It claimed life, so CloneX can claim their eggs. Toys R Us are launching their digital collectibles on Magic Eden. Forever 21 launched a physical collection based on a digital line on Roblox Metaverse, right? So yeah, it seems like fashion brands are definitely, you know, pivoting to, you know, connecting with Gen Z, right? So anyways, guys, just to wrap up, happy Friday. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get anyone to join as a stream avatar for them to win the whitelist. But I guess I'll just give it away with the NFT giveaway that I'm running on Twitter as well, right? So that's it, guys. This is your host, Non-Fungible TC. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Signing out.